Hello, so this will be a shorter video because, well, that's how it is today. So ask any questions that you might have and that I didn't cover in the video. So let's begin. Number 1. The goal of the game is like any other survival game. Base building, building the workbenches and trading with your survivors. Now, you can do a lot of stuff and I can get really in depth with stuff like this, but just know that you'll unlock more recipes in the workbenches as you find more materials, and you'll get more trades with your survivors as you play the game and do some of their quests. So that's kind of like the basis of the game. It's not really the PvP, it's not really the raiding, it's not really exploring the PvE island. It's just base build the workbenches with materials you find, and then trade with the survivors while doing their quest to unlock more trades and more things. Because at some point you'll be able to basically make something on the workbenches, trade with the survivors over here, and then you'll just be kind of like in endgame gear, more or less. Now, tip number 2, most important resources. Well, this will be a little bit of an unexpected thing. The most important resource in the game is fiber. You might say, why? Fiber is everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere, but you also need probably a million fiber, and I'm not even joking. As you can see, I have not even completed my base, and I got sick and tired of farming the fiber. You need fiber to build stuff, you need fiber to make bandages. You also need a lot of fiber when you're going to raids for the healing, of course. You can also just build certain structures on the island that will make it easier for you to go all over the place. For example, you can build some ramps over here. I built a ramp over there, but you cannot see it. At some point, you'll probably be able to build ramps kind of like everywhere on the island, so you can get easier access to some other locations. It's not even funny how much of it you need. Now, the second best material will be, it's kind of like, well, I guess I have to show you. It's not a material per se, it's just all of the materials that are needed to make the workbenches. So as you can see, some fiber, some screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are very useful in the beginning. The metal hooks, you need so many metal hooks, it's not even funny. And it says over here you only need 3 metal hooks, but I think we need another 2 for another workbench that I haven't uncovered, so a lot of metal hooks. Metal scraps will also be very important, but just enough so you can build this stuff. As you can see, the surgery tools are over here, some mason jars. Salvage station is going to be very hard to build. Also, some quests will require the metal hooks. Oh yeah, the textile bench also requires it, so yeah, you can probably see what you'll need over here. So this is kind of like a good indication, but as a general note, you don't take materials from the PvP island that you can find on this normal island. And the third best material you need, the third most important resource you need, is ammo. You need so much ammo, you don't believe how much you go through ammo, because when you die you lose all ammo as well, and also you need a ton of ammo to do all of the challenges and the quests you need to do on the PvE island. Tip number 3, what is the best weapon? Well, it's a bit of a discussion, but the best weapon will always be, in my opinion, the rifle, just because you have a lot of range with it, and the damage is very good, plus you can do headshots. The only reason you don't really use it all the time is because it can get really bad if enemies get too close to you. It will make you put down your rifle down. Also, when enemies are wearing helmets, yeah, that's going to be a very hard thing to destroy the helmets with the guns, because after you fire, as you can see, there is a bit of smoke and you need to think about it for a second. But in terms of ammo conservation and basically anything else, rifle and PvE, rifles are kind of like the best. Now, the second best thing will be the bow. I'm not why the bow. The bow does a lot of damage. It's very low noise, as you can see. Noise is high. And sometimes it's better to be stealthy on the island, because if the enemies hear the gunshots, they'll come straight for you. It's also a bit of a ninja thing, because if you kill enemies with bows before they can shoot, that means less enemies from PvE will come to your location. It's a bit of a weird thing, but you'll just see that you're not going to be as noticed as when you're firing a gun, because the NPCs will react to them firing guns and you firing guns as well. So if you fire guns and they fire guns, that's going to be a whole party. We also have some upgraded versions of the bow and the crossbow. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. The bow and the crossbow was nerfed a lot. The bow is actually pretty easy to make, and look at how easy it is to aim at this thing. So weirdly enough, you can recover your arrows if you don't if you don't hit a living thing, so meh. Remember, you can do that. This is the combat bow, but I generally go with the small bow when I'm out of resources, or in, well, I guess that was the case in the beginning when I had low resources. Where is that other bow? Sadly, we don't see the stats, but as you can imagine, the stats will be much better for the damage for the combat bow, and that's kind of like it. I still recommend you try out the bows. They'll be your best friend for a very long time, especially the basic one, because you might just need 1 or 2 items and you'll take it, and that's kind of like it. Now, after we have the rifle, we have the bow. What's the third best weapon? Well, it will be the various pistols. The revolvers are pretty nice as well. Semi-auto will also be pretty nice as well, but damage will be lacking. So you have to look at the durability of each weapon in particular. And remember that you have kind of like different stats for them as well. This can only hold 6, so the more reliable the weapon becomes, the more ammo it has in its capacity, but also the less damage it does. So that's kind of like a big thing about the game. And probably some of the best weapons will be these epic ones over here, the shotguns. Well, I guess I can show them, just kind of like a little show and tell. Look at that, that's almost like you're playing Escape from Tarkov. Look at also the noise on this thing, noise low. It's a suppressed shotgun, they managed to do it. So yeah, but I don't recommend you use shotguns on the PvP island, they're too loud, you need to be very close to your enemies. And that's kind of like it. Rifles, bows, and then the 2 types of pistols. I don't recommend you use anything that chews through ammo like crazy, like the automatic rifle. Or the crossbow. The crossbow kind of shoots very, very slow, but you can still use it. As you can see, the combat crossbow still has a lot of damage, even if it was nerfed. Now let's go to tip number 4, the storage in the base. Well, as we have seen, you need a lot of storage crates. I think you need a lot more than I already have. Just to plan a little better, let me show you the materials needed to make. So the primitive chests are easy to make, but then you need treated wood and scrap, metal scrap, which is much more hard to get. And then you even need iron ingots and sailor rope for the sturdy metal chest. So this is a normal container, this is a metal one. As you can see, the metal ones have hugely more capacity. And I'm just saying this because you need, well, you will need about 10 chests, to be honest. Even though you will have some of the better quality ones, you'll still need a lot of them. So I recommend you just make the corner of your base where you start, put a little roof over here, a workbench and a chest, the basic materials, and then just start working your way up from there. Also, there are items that can stack up to 100, so might as well put those in a single chest, or up to 50. You have some of the rare stuff that you might need occasionally. You also need a chest for the research pages and the rare items as well, because you don't know when you'll need them. Plus, like I said, they'll be good for trading. Plus, you will need a chest for the food if you want to get that deep into it. Also, I'm keeping all of my keys at home. I don't really open something on the PvP island unless I'm very close to it. Also, you'll need a lot of chests for the guns themselves. As you can see, you'll also need a chest for bows and arrows. Trust me, you want a chest for bows and arrows as well. It's super efficient. A chest for healing, and then you also need chest for armor, chest for your tools, chest for backpacks. Yeah, you also need to, if you can, try to have at least 3 or 4 backpacks in chest at all times in case you want to go and fight again. And yeah, you'll also need for the armor. See, it can be a lot. Let's go to team number 5, which is comfort. Now, this is not really something the game really explains very well, but the comfort level is actually pretty important. As you can see, you get more max stamina. You can actually increase it super easy by just building some of the decorations. Some of the other stuff will be hard to get, but you can do the Dodo trophies, the Hyena trophies, the beds, the tikis, the wind chimes. And yeah, you can just do all of that, and now you have 40 max stamina. But it's not really apparent from the beginning that this stamina actually is additive with your stamina bonus from the food. So let's say if you eat something really nice, Yeah, let's say we eat the dodo stick. I guess I ate something better before and it was 173. Well, I guess I should show you kind of like the max. The white meat is the more that you can get. You can also just have the jams. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's seafood soup. I guess you'll not really be using those a lot, but just imagine 1 up to 50 stamina. Depends on what you do. And this is you on the PvP or on the PvE island. Yeah, it's like escaping Tarkov in a way. You can run so much more and basically you'll be able to finish the raids, I would say 2 times faster if you have enough stamina. Yeah, you'll still need to rest a few times here and there, but you'll also be able to swim more and speed is your best ally. If you want to play as a rat, you'll need more speed. This is kind of like the way to get it. Base comfort plus a little bit of a better food. Like I said, you can also just stockpile the gems and the other foods you'll find in the raids. This is also something you can get later. But enough of that. Now let's go to team number 6, which is repairing gear. Now this is a bit of a discussion as well. It might not seem like it will be a long discussion, but trust me it is. Let me see. Forgot where I put my rifle. This must happen to Americans a lot as well. I'm joking. Well, I guess for show and tell purposes we can take one of that. I just wanted a more normal item. I guess let's have the rusted thingy. This armor over here. Now I'm not going to the durability on or other stuff on the guns or the armor. It's pretty self-explanatory, but to repair a rusted breacher you need gun parts and wax. The shock trooper will need VB50 gun parts and iron. The soldier helmet, as you can see, will need strong fabric, pure leather and iron ingots. And the epic tactical breaker needs hyperglide oil, which I only found one in about 30 hours in a single raid. The strong fabric is actually pretty hard to get and you can also use it to make some things in your base like a couch and some other things, so I don't recommend you repair it. So as you can see, the endgame items will not be worth repairing because you can just make them from scratch in my opinion. Or you can just trade for some better items. Let me see what I have unlocked so far. You can get the biker jacket over here, which only needs a goat trophy, and goats are on the island. You can also just make some other stuff from here. The armor bench. It will need rawhide and string. As you can see, they have durability and damage reduction, so sometimes you need to choose more durability over more damage reduction, because the damage reduction will mean you only take a few hits. This is kind of like the best thing because it's a little easier to make, so sometimes it will just be easier to make a new item completely than try and repair something older. Besides, this also comes into play when you are thinking about which items to bring home with you. Sometimes you want to take an extra armor from the raid and an extra helmet as well, just so you have enough for the next raid. As you can see, it can get really expensive trying to repair stuff, but it's also an option, so don't worry if you cannot repair your best weapon or something like that. At some point you'll just find something better than it. So yeah, repairing is your best friend when it comes to smaller items or medium tier items, otherwise you'll just have to make new ones. This is also pretty important because I wanted to show you all of the repair materials needed, so now you know what to keep your eyes out for. Where is that oil? Ah, okay. Kept it over here. I don't know. Also you have some really cool stuff you can get, like the smartwatch and the cargo shorts and that thing. Just so you can die in style. Well, I don't see where I put that oil, but it's probably somewhere very good. Oh yeah, over here. This is an epic item. When they mean epic item, they really mean very, very rare and very, very hard to find. I guess this is kind of like what you would expect as a loadout. You're going into a mission. I also like to have a little axe with me so I can maybe get a trophy from a tapir or something else. Okay, number 7, exploration on the PvE island. Well, this is a bit of a bigger topic as well, but I just recommend you go out on the beach every day if you can and just get a lot of fiber. You will see what I mean when you get that. And when you have some spare time, just go out with sticks and fiber and try to build some things on the island to make it easier to traverse. Now, I don't recommend you build it all over the place. I just recommend you build in a couple of places. Let me show you one of those locations that will make map traversal so much easier. Over here, see, over here, you can go over there and you can go over the rock so you can get on the other side. You might want to create some stuff on the other side as well so you can reach from there to the other side easier. But generally speaking, it's not worth exploring the PvE island because currently, as of this version, the loot doesn't respawn but the enemies respawn. So I don't recommend you explore anything on the PvE island because at some point the quest will take you there. You see that submarine on the north? Yeah, you'll have to go there. You'll have to go to the tip-top north of the map, the entire bigger part. You also have to go to the western part of the map, to the harbor area for a quest. So it's not really worth exploring. It's just worth building some stuff around your base so it's easier to traverse. I tried building a little dock on the water, but it doesn't work because it cannot be supported in the deep water, so you can just build a bridge over there as well. You can repair that old bridge over there. You can do a lot of stuff near your base. I recommend you try building some stuff that will help, but overall, don't even try to explore. It's not worth it. You'll just find death and misery, and besides, the quests will take you there as well. Now, tip number 8, it will be trading with the companions, and the more you do their quests, the more trade items you unlock. So, it seems like it's not a lot in the beginning, but for example, you can get a record escape from this NPC, which will allow you to unlock the records door in the port or in the harbor, or you have another quest. You also just get some of the better healing equipment. I recommend you take, let's say, 2 normal healing equipments, 20 fiber bandages, and let's say 1 or 2 first aid kits or something better than that if you have some better gear to spare. From here, as you can see, you can just get basic ammo, which will be super useful. So walkie-talkies and metal nuts are kind of important, but see, the basic pistol needs metal bolts and a power brick. This is not going to be worth it because this is very hard to get in a way. So I guess you just have to focus on the walkie-talkies and metal nuts. Barrel cylinder screwdriver, yeah, I guess that can also be somewhat useful.
How you going?
And like I showed you over here, the goat trophy, the tapir trophy. Tapir trophy, this is why you probably should kill some tapirs on the PvP island and use your axe to chop them up a little bit. You can get some really cool items with that, so... As you can see, loot comes in many forms and shapes just because of the trading options you can get. And this is not even all of them. I can even upgrade them a little further. This guy mostly wants some coffee and then he'll get some other stuff for you. And then you can, for example, get the tea leaves and then you can get the brown sugar and then you can get something from the main NPC, which is Wade Davis. Which kind of has an assortment of items. You can also get a metal axe, which is better, as you can imagine. But also you can get a rusted V6 or the rusted infantry. So a photo of just and shiny pearls, you can get a rusted rifle, which is great either way, plus the electrical wires and the shiny. By the way, don't use electrical wires on trades because you need a ton of them as well, which will be in one of the next tips. So yeah, you can basically just go into a raid, get some junk, and then come back over here, trade the junk, and just get better equipment for a better raid. Hopefully. Now, let's go on to tip number 9, which is trading with the 8 is trading with the companions, 9 is the most important quest. The most important quest will be to open the communication tower over there, which you need some electrical wires and screwdriver, and then you also need a key to open the door inside the place for a lot of guns and a lot of ammo, which will help you get started very fast. But then the next main quest Well, among other ones will be to repair the transmitter. So for the transmitters you need walkie-talkies, 10 electrical wires, 1 power brick, 5 electronic components and a large battery. You'll get some of these items from the NPCs, but mostly you'll have to work super hard to get them. So electrical wires will be one of the main things you have to find in trades, and walkie-talkies, as you saw, you need quite a bit of them. The power bricks as well, for trades and some other stuff, but mainly for this quest. The electronic components are also pretty rare, so if you don't know to kind of focus on these items from the beginning of the game, you'll never have enough of them. So keep an eye out on them. Also, like I mentioned with the keys, it's just sometimes better to bring back all of the keys. Unless you can open something that is really close to you, just bring back the keys and just try and learn where you can use them. For example, the bunkers will be like the bunker from below the lighthouse, the bunker in the harbor, which is just a locked house, a bunker in the bunker, kind of like in the middle of the map, so on. You also will have some safes on this island as well. Pioneer landing key is, well, I guess we have a lot of locations we can open on the island as well, so just get the keys and you'll be able to open some stuff later with them. And I don't have a battery with me, but yeah, the large batteries are kind of like the hardest ones to find, and you need them for the main quest, so kind of like your second objective will be this. Now let's go to tip number 10. And this will be a more general tip, but it's to kind of give you an idea of what to do. So like I said, you can use the bows to very good effect, so I recommend you do just like that. So for example, in your quest, if I need a large battery right now, I would just probably use a bow and minimal equipment. You can also just use a bow as a secondary weapon to kill the NPCs so you don't make noise. Try to improvise as much as you can, because there's nothing preventing you from playing like this. I think that was the idea of the developers as well, and they kind of missed their mark in my opinion, because they need to make stuff like this clear enough. So let me show you what some... This will be kind of like my normal loadout, let's say. A decent helmet, pretty good. I can repair it, but as you saw, it's not really worth repairing. You can just get more of them. This cannot be repaired. I think this was nerfed. I don't remember it being... Anyway, doesn't matter. This is kind of like my default loadout for a mission, let's say. You might think, why do you need all of this? Well, I will use the bow to kill the NPCs. If there's something stronger with armor, I'll use the rifle or the pistol. The pistol is very good if they get close, because you'll stagger enemies if you shoot them a little bit. So, well, I guess you should focus on the head to do headshots, but that's going to be harder when enemies have armor on them. The idea is that if you want to do short raids, do a short raid with just a bow and 10 healing bandages, and that's it, arrow. So if you want to do a short raid, this will kind of be it, no armor, no nothing. If you want to do a longer raid, bring as much equipment as you can, but also be much more stealthy, because you don't want to go around in the first 10 minutes of the game destroying stuff. So what I do is just focus on a location for about 10 minutes, loot it completely, make sure no one is coming, make sure everything is safe, and then I move to other locations, and then I kind of try to follow the flow of the game. So if you spawn, let's say, on a point that is near the harbor, you probably don't want to make a lot of noise in the harbor, so I recommend you go somewhere else, do some noise, some chaos there. And then when about 10 minutes have passed, go to that location and try to slowly loot everything. Try to play much slower, because you're not pressured by time and you'll have enough experience to kind of learn the maps and where all of the keys go and stuff like that. So, kind of like, that was my idea for raids. Because this is not like Tarkov, you don't have real progression. Your only progression is what you take out in a raid with you, which is kind of annoying. Some of the quests will also be super annoying, because enter the ground floor armory on the harbor building. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't recommend you try that if you spawn there. I'd recommend you do that as a secondary objective. For example, my objective right now will be to find metal hooks. If I cannot find the metal hooks, then it will be to loot and search for other stuff. Then I'll try to investigate the paintbrush, and only then I'll try to break into the ground floor armory. I think that will need a key, but you'll usually find the key if you kill enough NPCs. And then of course it will be the large battery. If I find a large battery, I am bolting out of the raid immediately with a large battery. It says find nearest exit on it. That's it. I'm not going to stay longer. So just focus on little tasks as much as you can while trying to get some items out of the raids. While farming on the island as well, because you can get, let me see, you can get some really cool items over here. Combat bow will need some bigger resources, but you can just make a huge amount of crude bows, a huge amount of arrows. You can make some decent armor as well. And just kill NPCs and loot a pistol or something like that, and just enjoy the game for what it is. You don't have to go geared in every raid. This is not Escape from Tarkov. Anyway, that's that. See you next time. Bye bye.